We see that the revenues are not going down but relatively flattening. So what we need to focus on is how do we get more out of the existing customer base of operators, get more of mobile messaging, because we see that the traffic is going up but the revenues are flattening because of the introduction of all kinds of all-you-can-eat bundles and pay-as-you-go. So what we're looking towards is how can we introduce new services into the messaging ecosystem. So for example, focusing on how to personalize P2P messaging with all kinds of stuff that we know from the internet, like copy or forwarding, signature insertion, archiving of messages. But also what's really interesting is also how to get more out of the use segment, because the use segment in some countries generate a lot of ARPU. But it's important that we try to protect them as well, so that parents do not procrastinate the subscriptions they want to give to their youth customers. So what, for example, we are doing is having a full parental control offering, where we enable parents to really control the messaging behavior of their children. That's not that much actually, because the issue with Twitter and Facebook in general is that if you link up SMS and MMS to Twitter, the messages that you receive cannot be charged, at least not in Europe, but for example North America they are. So what operators need to do is find a way to monetize that traffic. There's a lot of operators that have not introduced that because it injects an enormous stream of messages into your network, because Twitter is, for example, point to multipoint. If I follow a lot of people, if a lot of people are following me and I tweet once, there's a lot of traffic going into the network. And that floods the network, but it doesn't give you any revenue. So what we are looking for is ways to monetize that traffic. One way you can do that is to enable MT charging, so enable people to get charged for the messages they receive in bundles or whatever. What you can also do is introduce parental control for those messages as well, so people are willing to pay to have those messages protected, so you can find a revenue stream of monetizing that. But also, for example, mobile advertising, because the Twitter MT-based SMS is a really enormously powerful tool for advertisers because it's so huge.
Well, because we use instant messaging as the channel to get to the social network and for the updates coming from the social network, we don't really require that SMS channel. So we don't have this problem that people have with how to, charge and get money back from all the SMSs that are generated. So the way our service works, the user subscribes, and for a monthly fee, they get access to all of the communities, all the social networks, for a flat fee, and that's the charging model we use.
What we mainly see for instant messaging is that operators have stepped away from the model of introducing their own instant messaging communities, because communities that are out there like Skype and MSN and Yahoo are established and they're good. So the IM propositions that operators are launching is basically enabling people to use instant messaging over their networks. But that's, for this point in time, completely separated from SMS and MMS. So it could be good to enable SMS and MMS to work with instant messaging, but not as an extension, but as an enrichment. For example, if you have an instant messaging client on your phone, that can easily drain your battery because you're online all the time. So what you can do is have a wake-up SMS to say, okay, you got a presence update or you're getting a new message, you have to wake up your client and then close it down again once the session is over. So that's a very practical way of using SMS and MMS. But going into the future, people are very much looking into RCS, Rich Communication Suite, to introduce new services for converged messaging, where IM, at least the IM way of thinking, is part of the RCS suite. So instead of just being able to send SMSs and MMS, which is basically deferred messaging, one-off, to establish real multimedia sessions within one converged messaging experience. So they're not looking to introduce IM as such, because that space has been taken by Skype and Yahoo and MSN, but to integrate the way of thinking and technology into a converged messaging offering.
I think it's true that it's very difficult for the operator to build its own community, and I think no one's really trying to do that anymore. What we as a company have done is we've changed our strategy. We're now opening up, we're using the infrastructure we have to open up access to all of the communities. So for example, in Movistar Peru or Movistar Mexico, you not only get a mobile instant messaging service, but you also get access to your Facebook, to your internet instant messaging services. It becomes like a social network and messaging aggregator service. So yeah, you're right. In terms of just a pure mobile instant messaging service, that's not where people are going now.